Welcome. In this video I'm going to show you how you can determine the measure of consensus using R. I'm using Jupyter Notebook, but the codes will also work of course in RStudio. I'm currently using R version 4.3. And in this video I have a separate video where I'll simply use a function that's available in my own library called stickpad-r, which you can actually simply install. But in this video I'll simply go over it if you don't want to use any libraries. The function can be, the measure is actually sometimes used as a measure of dispersion for ordinal data and was developed by Tesley and Weerman. 0, complete lack of consensus, and a 1, full consensus. To show you how it can be done, I do need some example data. So I have a file called GSS from General Social Survey 2012A because I slightly adjusted a few small things. And to give you an indication, we don't need all this data, we only need one field. So I'm going to be storing one ordinal field, which is the accounting scientific, which was about how scientific is accounting. To show you the frequencies, just to get a quick impression, I can use the table function from R, and as you can see it was not numerical data. The coding went from not scientific at all to very scientific, so let's also load that in. Alright, then we're going to do this the hard way. First of all, I'm going to actually remove any missing values, so the ord field but then cleaned. Next, I need to know the sample size, which is going to be, well, we can actually print it as well. There are 954 items in there. And this will only work with numerical data, so I'm going to be using the replace option and loop over all my values from my coding. And that should give me all the numbers, but then actually as numbers. So I can do print and then ord field num, and that should show us all the numerical values. Alright, then the function, the measure actually has as a formula this, which might look a little bit scary, but it's not too bad. The first thing here to focus on is actually this mu x, which actually should be not mu x, but mu as in the Greek letter mu, so we can change it like this. And for this we can simply use the table function to get the observed frequencies. So we can simply store those, and now we have those frequencies simply as a list or as a vector. What might also be useful is k, because you see it sometimes popping up, so, and here as well. So that's the number of categories, which is therefore the same as how many items are in here, the length of these frequencies. The sum is also useful. You see it being used here, the n, which is simply sum up all of them. So those can be useful. For the proportions, we simply divide the frequencies by that sample size. So I didn't put the formula in here, but it's simply the frequency divided by the n. And the ranks of the categories are simply 1 to k, so I can simply use the sequence of k, and that gives me 1 to 4 in this case. The mu x is the average rank, so what we do is we multiply each frequency with the corresponding rank, which is the index, divided over the total sample size. And it's been annoying that these have not been updated, but here we go. So mu x is simply the sum of r times the rank times the frequency divided by n, and in this case that's going to be about 2.09. The last thing we need is that dx, which is actually the range of the ranks. Well, we have 4 categories, so the k minus 1 gives you the full range of the ranks. In this case that's simply 3. The last thing we need is this log2, because we have everything else, and that's available in the log2 function, so don't need to worry about that. It's going to be 1 plus, 1 plus, and then the sum, which is that big E, the proportion, that's the pi, times log2, so times log2, and then 1 minus, and these vertical bars indicate an absolute sign, which is a function available in R. The rank, so basically the index, minus, and then the average, and then divide by dx, and that gives us 0.5111. Alright, and that's how you can determine the measure of this consensus using R. I hope this video was helpful and thank you for watching.